So airport security area is another reason to pack light. If you haven't been traveling the last 10 years, not everybody gets to go every year, I think everybody is pretty much aware of this 3-1-1 rule. What that means is a reminder, it means you're allowed a 3-ounce bottle, such as this bottle right here from Travel On, and you're allowed a 1-quart bag that can be a bag purchased from us or a Glad bag right out of the kitchen drawer, 1-quart bag. And then you're allowed one of them. So that's the 3-1-1 aspect of that as you go through the airport security checkpoints. So we're going to talk about how to get through the lines faster. A couple of checkpoint-friendly laptop cases in case there's a few business people here. They are making business cases for people to bring out their laptop a little easier. Carry-on medicine, the requirements about that. Carry-on liquid alternatives, prohibitive items, and TSA-approved luggage accessories. There's our 3-1-1, 3-ounce bottle, 1-quart bag, and you're allowed one of them. Make your trip easier using these things. Consolidate your bottles. Try to get concentrated liquids as much as possible. We have a couple of things for shampoo and laundry soap and so on that are very concentrated in 3-ounce bottle. Declare liquids, medications, baby formula, breast milk. They've gotten a little bit easier within the last 3 to 6 months about these kind of things. So if you have liquid medications or any kind of medications, you want to keep them separate and available for inspection. And most of them, I presume, are capable of going through the X-ray area. They want you to be able to take those out and have them. So you don't have to have them in the original containers. Sometimes that surprises some of our attendees. And I just printed this up as proof right off the TSA.gov website. So again, that's TSA as in Transportation Security Administration.gov. And it says medication daily dosage containers are allowed if you want to put them in there, or you don't have to. So in your original containers. So that can save you a little bit of room and hassle right there. Okay. Same with people who have the contact lens solutions and so on. You can take that on board. So how to get through the airlines faster. So really, we start talking about how to pack and how not to pack. This will, as soon as you've got all those electronics, and that's what we're finding with our customers, is they're bringing so many more of Apple products and all these kind of things that have cords and electronics. So if you want to keep your bundled cords nice and neat inside your bag, maybe a little less chance for you to be one of those guys they pull aside separately. Pack and organize carry-on using layers like we're going to show you this morning. Be advised that you are required to take electronics. We all know that. Apparently not the iPad. Now, the one security person I talked to recently said you did not have to take that out. You'd think it would be the same thing as a laptop or something. But all laptops have to come out, though, for sure. Prepare your 1-quart bag. Jackets, belts, all come off. Shoes, belly button rings, all those kind of things that might set off the machine. And do not wrap gifts. A couple other things are dress apart. Get your change out of your pocket, jewelry. Avoid wearing clothing with heavy buttons and so on. Have your identification out with your boarding pass. Okay, checkpoint-friendly laptop carriers. How many people are business travelers here? Oh, no, all right, good. I don't know if you have one already, sir. I think it's kind of been a much ado about nothing. About a year and a half ago, the industry and TSA said, you can do your laptop, keep it in its container, if that little sleeve or padded envelope for your laptop could be pulled or just sort of brought out of your backpacks. So that's what this is about. If you see these next pictures, you can do that without having to take the laptop out. So it saves a few precious seconds going through the security airport area.
So they don't want you to fire them up anymore?
No, sir. No need for that at all. No. Okay, carry-on medications. Again, we did talk about how they've become a little bit more lenient of all that. And TSA does not require medications to be labeled. August of 2009. All right, so there's that.
They don't require?
No, so you can throw them in one big bundle baggie, as long as it's available for inspection, visual inspection. So if you can make it in a separate clear baggie, you'll be a lot better off. Okay, carry-on liquid alternatives. So this is where the industry is seeing that, okay, there are people who want to go carry-on, but they're worried they can't take their shaving lotion and all of their other kinds of liquids. So the industry such as our Travel-On people, have come up with these sheets. So there's hand soap sheets, laundry sheets, all kinds of sheets that you can just simply pull out. They're a dry sheet. You mix them with water and then form a shampoo or a lather with sheets. So it's pretty convenient. I know a lot of us have our favorite shampoo. So it is not the highest quality of the salon grade. Oh, I don't even know those guys' names. Sassoons or something, whatever. But it's okay. And us guys, there's a little shaving, you know, we just need something to make it so we don't grate our face. So there are some nice alternatives. The hand soap is handy. The LaFresh people, or another company, has come up with towelettes. So they do about 15 of these different kinds of things. So sometimes we wonder, is a deodorant a liquid, or is it a gel, or what is it? But if you'd err on the side of caution, I'd say maybe do something like this that has a towelette, so you can take care of those needs right there with that. Nail polish remover, we want to maybe not have that acetone stuff in there that's so caustic for ladies, so this is just nail polish remover with towelette form. Okay. The prohibitive items, this is sort of comical, really, that people might think about carrying these on. So this is taken right off the TSA website with a 2-column list of what's a carry-on and what is allowed as checked luggage. And you might be surprised to see what can be put in the checked luggage cargo bins under the airplane. I mean, it's you can do the swords, but only if you check them. Blunt edge scissors are allowed. Even nail clippers are allowed now. Okay? Of course, you're going to find that one guy that will take them away from you. So be aware that what I'm telling you today is not written in 100% accuracy. Perhaps there was the testy person who's worked the TSA site, had a long day. He wants to take those clippers away from you. Yes, sir.
What about monopods?
Monopods.
For cameras.
No, that's on our list or not. This is going to be about 6 pages of this. I would think it's probably okay. I mean, it is a piece of metal.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is. You might want to call your airline first and see what they say. And also look on the TSA site.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Knitting needles.
Knitting needles. Let's get to that. Knitting needles, if they're plastic, I think are okay.
Or wood. Plastic.
Perhaps wood. Now, this is what they'll say to you, is we'll get to this. Let me just, it's about 3 slides away. That's a good question, knitting needles. So here, firearms, you can take all the firearms you want and put them below. Of course, not as a carry-on. There's a cattle prod, in case you want to check your cattle prod. The crowbars, hammers, all those kind of things are no-nos. Tools, though, it's interesting enough, look at the tools, 7 inches or less are okay. Screwdrivers, 7 inches or less. So I'm surprised if they wouldn't let you have your monopod if they let you have a screwdriver. Those are guns, nude checks, all these kind of things are no-nos. Not dynamite. But here's a couple things that are not allowed, surprisingly. You know how dangerous gels could be, I guess, perhaps. So, I don't know. You know, that's why they tell you to take your shoes off. And a lot of us, I'm wearing Thotics today. If you've got a lot of gel in there, watch out. They might get you. Wow. Okay, yeah. Allowed. This surprises people, too, that aerosols under 3 ounces are allowed.
This is checked or carry-on.
Carry-on. And again, this is 99% of the time. Okay, I have a big caveat for the cranky TSA person. Okay, there's the knitting needles. Watch out. She's dangerous. Not that they profile, but knitting needles are permitted in your carry-on baggage or checked baggage. However, there's a possibility that the needles can be confiscated. Security officers have the authority to determine if an item can be used as a weapon and may not be allowed. They will tell you that circular needles are okay, if less than 31 inches in total length, I guess. And this is the odd thing. In case the security officer does not allow knitting tools through security, it's recommended that you carry a self-addressed envelope. So they will be so happy to send it back to you. I don't know about that. You better have the postage paid.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then luggage accessories, and we're almost done with this portion. The TSA-approved locks, if you're not aware, that you can have your lock on domestic airlines and overseas. They can cut it off like the old days with your TSA lock, but it has a little emblem right there that tells the security people that this is a TSA-approved lock and that there will be a keyhole for them to get into your luggage if that's any comfort.
Not always a guarantee.
Yeah, not always a guarantee.
Do you recommend locking your suitcases?
I do. Personally, I do more for in my hotel room, to bring a lock for that. But, I just think it's just one less thing that they won't, it keeps the honest guy honest. It's sort of a deterrent. We don't make any bones that this, you could crack this lock open with the shackle if you had a heavy enough tool. But I just think it's just one more layer perhaps to slow somebody down. And so that's kind of how we feel about those locks. There are straps that you can put around that are TSA approved as well. So it's really kind of up to you. I know folks have told me, I've had customers say, I've never locked my luggage, never had a problem. And then I've had others who've had problems. So, there are the little electrical ties as an alternative. We sell them. You can get them at the hardware store, little plastic electrical ties you can cut with the nail clippers. Okay? So here we are at airline baggage allowances. So this is always, and this is why we're going to have that handout if you want it, the carry-on size guidelines. Let me tell you right now, it's about 85 to 90% of the time, a carry-on bag is a bag that's within 45 linear inches. So if we haven't gone to, geometry class, which I never was very good at anyway, 45 linear inches mean a bag 22 by 14 by 9. So you add those three dimensions, they got to be 45 inches or less. Okay? That is on, again, the majority of airlines. There are some airlines internationally that have weight maximums of as low as 11 or 13 pounds. Yeah, so that means, maybe our bag empty would be okay. So be aware of those, and we can tell you some of them right off the bat that we know of are like Qantas, Air New Zealand, Air China. Lufthansa is 17 pounds. Those others I mentioned are like 13 pounds. So there are some that are very restrictive. Singapore, I see a pretty good list here, but that are 15. Now, the mass majority of airlines still are not, the weight doesn't come into play. It's like 30 pounds, 40 pounds. We're not going to be close to that weight when we fill this up here in a few moments. Okay? There are other instances where we get skunked going carry-on. I think everybody should be aware. Of course, if your overhead bins are full and you're in the C group of Southwest, then you're going to probably have to check your luggage. So those are one of the cases. The other cases are inter-island flights, regional jets within Europe, smaller regional jets when the overhead bins are small. The good news is at least you can walk out to the tarmac, put it on the little trolley, and I hope they can't lose it from the trolley right there up to the airplane right there. Okay, so those are some of the caveats, again, about going carry-on. We don't want to promise when people say, was that a carry-on? Because there's a lot of folks that got a lot of anxiety about that, and there was a lot of hands raised today about saying they want to go in a carry-on. Well, the mass majority of the time, this is okay to go carry-on, unless the overhead bins are full. And this is, just to show you, this is a bag about 21 inches in length for this particular model, because it has the wheels that make it stand up a little taller, but by 14 by 9 inches in depth. Now the depth part can be about 10, to be honest with you, because the overhead bins are 10 inches tall, if you will. Yeah, so you can be one of those guys trying to shove it in there. We've all seen them every flight, haven't we? In fact, I think I got an illustration of, there's our talking about weight and scales. We're going to use our fancy scale today to weigh our luggage as we go. I think it's a worthwhile device. And there's there's our templates that you often see, 22 by 14 by 9. The little trick here is, though, that's actually a little bit longer. They're usually, these bins that they have as templates are 24 by 16 by 10. A little bit bigger to accommodate the handles and wheels that stick out on carry-ons. That's not to say a 24-inch bag is okay, because it's not. In fact, I think on my list, Southwest says 24 inches is okay. And it's not. If you've ever flown Southwest, there's no way you can do a 24-inch suitcase and go carry-on. Sometimes with duffel bags, it's an exception. Okay, and there's my exceptions right there about going when you can go in a carry-on. Okay, so thanks for putting up with that. That's hopefully of some help to you. We know now we can't do the cattle prods.